All right, here we go. Honest downsides of losing in weight, getting in tip-top shape. What can you expect that isn't necessarily positive? Because there is a darker side to this process. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I'll link it below. I think these videos, when I speak on this subject, it seems to really hit for people because they go, oh, I'm not crazy. Okay, this is kind of part and parcel of what many people experience with the whole weight loss journey, with all the upsides of the weight loss journey. Of course, I don't want to infer that the trade-off isn't absolutely worth it, because it is, but I think just normalizing and validating a lot of this stuff, learning what you can fix, learning, especially with the social stuff, what you can't really fix all that much, and just accepting it as it is. And yeah, it sucks, but just adjust, accept, manage your expectations around it. It's a godsend, makes this journey so much easier. Downside number 1, you might experience what feels like jealousy, backhanded compliments, or just little sly digs that are not so overt that they're an insult that you can hold the person to account for, then kind of withdraw, retract their statement, hide behind some kind of veil or veneer that they were being nice to you. Oh, I was trying to pay you a compliment, you're looking really good. This is crazy, this is mental. What I actually found, and I always like to give people the benefit of the doubt, as I would like to think they do me, like we all get jealous sometimes, that's fine. I don't assume that any negative comment I get about my weight, or like you're too skinny now, or anything like that, I don't just assume that's always from a kind of a jealous, dragging me down kind of attitude. I like to give lots of benefit of doubt with this, but if I'm being honest, the amount of like people that I have felt, friends, never best friends, but close enough friends to where one day we'd be really, really close and I would do a lot for that person, to feel those people, not me, let me go, if I'm being honest. And I again, I did a lot. I remember almost gaslighting myself at the time. No, maybe I was different with them. Maybe I was a bit harsh with them. I know what I can be like. I can be a little bit clinical, a little bit spiteful sometimes, not a perfect person. So I just immediately put it back on me, like, oh, we've gone different paths. But honestly, now I replay so many incidents in my mind because I've seen the trend, like the better and better shape I think I've got into anyway, leaner and leaner over the years. Like I've seen the trend play out, so I now look at like incidents from 7, 8 years ago, and I was really starting to get results, and I think changed my life quite a lot. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like this can fundamentally change how people see you when you lose like quite a substantial amount, 30, 40 pounds. You actually look like a different person. Behaviorally on the inside, you've got such different way of seeing food, beliefs. It can actually make you see the world entirely differently as well. It can give you totally different I've watched people transform their political opinions, culturally, their hot takes on certain issues, because of the self-governing kind of like the agency, the level of control that mastering your health gives you. It fundamentally changed me, certainly as a person. I know lots of other people as well. And so like you do get dragged apart from people, but at the same time, like a lot of it is people can't deal with it and they can't be around you anymore because your success is so outstanding that it shines a light. You're not doing it. You are not intending to do this. You're not holding up a mirror to them going, hey, look at me, you get on with it, look at you, you slob. Like that's how they feel though. I'm using crass language. That's how they feel though, or how they can sometimes feel. So like I said, I don't interpret every negative comment I get, like don't lose any more weight, automatically as jealousy. But honestly, I think I've actually played down, to give people the benefit of the doubt, the amount of times that people gave me like backhanded compliments, were jealous over the years. I've actually played it down and diminished it, and actually kind of denied, like a bit of imposter syndrome, denied how much I changed, or didn't realize how much I changed because I'm seeing myself every day, not realizing that like this was, maybe if I haven't seen someone for 2 months, 3 months or whatever, even on a maybe like a 2-week, 3-week basis, like the jumps in who I might appear to them to be as a person is so stark that like they let me go, or they can't be the same with me anymore, or they can't really support me anymore. It's weird. It's so weird. I never forget when I first started all this social media stuff, I never forget just this one moment where an old friend of mine at the time, who I did consider a close friend actually at the time, so it did rub me the wrong way, so much that I remember it now when I'm making a video all these years later. It did bother me. I never forget them saying when they found out, I never told them because I had a bit of a suspicion. This is the funny thing, your instinct is so often right on this stuff. I had a bit of a suspicion about who I'm going to tell that I'm making YouTube videos now, because this is way before anyone was an influencer. Like, this is super niche. It was super weird to make YouTube videos. People like sent around your videos and laughed at you, etc., etc. Anyway, this one bloke was, what did he say to me? He said this to my face, which respect. So directly said, why are you doing that? I think I'm in better shape than you. I can lift heavier than you. I'm stronger than you. Why are you making videos? Maybe I should be doing that. And I was like, whoa, where did that come from? There's some lurking resentment there. There's some weird jealousy vibes there. So yeah, lo and behold, I actually saw him in the gym 1 week later, and he was bench pressing about half the weight of my PR. So I found that quite amusing. And he saw me bench pressing like 2 weeks later. So he knew that I knew that we all knew. And yeah, again, like what is the relevance of our bodies or our physiques or our strength levels got to do with whether I make YouTube videos or not, or what he does with his life and career? Like, it's ridiculous. Absolutely. Who's saying one person is better than the other? They have more. Anyway, clearly I haven't let it go myself, but like little stuff like that, it fundamentally changes how you deal with people. Actually, I think that would be my advice. Like, how do you reconcile this stuff? Give people the benefit of the doubt. We're all jealous. I'm jealous of people sometimes. That happens. So give people that bandwidth. Don't immediately personalize it. Like, jealousy is a kind of fairly normal emotion. And if you're a bit insecure about your health and weight issues, of course you might look at someone crushing it and go, oh, for bloody hell's sake, bloody hell. Looks so easy for the, oh my God, like, oh God, that really annoys me. I'm working so hard. Look at them with all this. Like, I think that's kind of normal. I don't really personalize it as they hate me. What I don't like though is how people like let me go out of their lives as a result of it, and they can't kind of reconcile it and handle it and maybe get inspired, or inspired's a bit like arrogant to say they're going to be inspired by me, but you get it. Like, can't they collaborate with me? Can't it be a cooperative thing? Like, they get in on the success as well and ask me what I'm doing, and then we work out together and we cook some meals. Like, nah, no, people can't do that. They have to let you go instead. It saves face. It's so weird. People feel like you're holding a mirror up to them without you even saying a word. So anyway, a bit too long on this point, but yeah, jealousy, backhanded. Sorry to be reading from my phone all the time, guys. I've just got all notes here of examples and whatnot as I was thinking about filming this video. But yeah, ultimately, this jealousy thing, like, it's a bit of a filter for me. Like, I just remember it. I don't personalize it, but I do remember when people make these comments, and it does subtly change my relationships and my expectation of that person, and that's fine. I just like adjust to it, like, okay, this person is not fully on my team on this thing, that's fine, and I'll just kind of draw a line. Like, I won't share too much in that domain of my life with that particular person, but I'll still love and appreciate them for what they do for me, or what we have in common still together. Second, more of a physiological thing now, the psychological as well, actually, frankly, all of it. We hit all heads here, but not so much social. Food noise. So like, what happened to me is that little gremlin in my head that's like, we want more, that negotiation. Like, even if I eat a really fiber rich, calorie controlled, like not a starvation meal, but a moderately caloried meal, where I've really maxed out the volume, the macros are really balanced, like on paper, this should be a really satisfying meal for me. But no, I'm still living in a calorie deficit. I've been in a calorie deficit for X period of time. So the glycogen stores are depleted, the ghrelin, the leptin, the hunger hormones have been, let's say, messed with, not the scientific term, for some time anyway, but I'm in that more like depleted fat loss, like intentional fat loss state. Like, I finish a meal that should really on paper be satisfying. In maintenance, I might even find it satisfying. And there's just this little devil on the shoulder. I always call him the gremlin, the little gremlin in my head that's like, eat more, we could have more, like, and starts negotiating. Oh, what about just an apple after this? What about something sweet after this? Oh, but we'll do a low calorie thing, it'll be fine. But lo and behold, it turns into 300 extra calories, doesn't it? 400, 500. Lo and behold, you're really spiraling again. And so, or you have a massive cheat day, whatever. It depends how crazy and out of control it gets. But yeah, that food noise, what I think is, like, when I started this process, the food noise was quite high, and then it disappeared. I've had a bit of an inverted, would it be inverted? Yeah, bell curve with this, to whereby I had lots of food noise at the start because you go through the physiological, and it is physiological, withdrawal-like symptoms, and they are real. It's not pseudoscience, in my opinion. Withdrawal-like symptoms, psychologically, the FOMO, the feelings of sacrifice that I spoke about in the last video. Like, you have a big hit of that early on because your default diet, or for me, my default diet was so poor, and there were so many junk foods in there that it did take me a little while, months, to wean myself out off of that stuff without too much resistance. It's made better with good nutrition practices, like if you have a moderate not extreme calorie deficit, lots of fiber. The plant-based approach that I follow has been absolute godsend for minimizing these things, but it's still there, like it still lingers. Then actually, I'd lose maybe the first 10 pounds with a lot of work and resistance, it felt like. Then it goes quiet, the food noise goes quiet, and I just sail down the scale. I have felt in the last 6 months my food noise go up again, because I'm starting to mess now with loads, as many of you have remarked kindly, I have got leaner in the last 18 months. I have felt, maybe just 12 months, I have felt the food noise go up again at these much lower levels of body fat. What I've always figured with the food noise is you psychologically do adjust to it, to where you don't notice it anymore and it's tolerable. But I think when you start to get really lean, what is really lean is going to be slightly relative. But where I start noticing it is, 13, 12% body fat and below. I have never pushed to 10. I mean, I've never done a DEXA scan. This is just assessing visually and, again, being a bit conservative with it, always maybe erring on the side of caution with saying that claiming I'm a really low body fat percentage. But that for me, when I start messing, when I start pushing too hard, when I start driving calories too low, below for me, 2200, 2100, when I start getting there, the food noise gets nuts. The food noise gets nuts. The only way I can maybe eat 2000 calories a day, for example, quite gladly, is if I do 4000 steps in a day, no strength training, no tennis, no martial arts, no movement, no nothing, no thinking, just lying on the settee like a slug. The thing is, you do adjust to each kind of calorie rung of the ladder. You do. I've watched that with myself, but generally speaking now, the food noise is the strongest it's been for years. It's still completely tolerable. I'm maintaining. I'm actually losing fat right now. It's really, really good when I'm meant to be maintaining. So that's how good it is. That's how tolerable the food noise is. I'm working with it. It's not too bad. I do fear though, if I really wanted to get freak show lean, I'm not that lean. You guys are too kind to me. But if I really wanted to get shredded, let's say under 10% body fat, I think, which I wouldn't advise anyway, but I do like pushing myself sometimes, I really do. I do get a bit ambitious sometimes with it, or feel like I should be ambitious with it. And because this is part of my job, right? So I want that self-experience as well. But yeah, that's when I feel ooh, careful here with the food noise, it's getting a bit crazy. So yeah, kind of normal part of this process. Psychologically, your body and physiologically, your body saying, don't give us too little food. The difficult thing is, we don't want to die. The difficult thing is, you just want to tell your body sometimes, no, this is all part of the plan. I'm in a weight loss phase. One day I'm going to add some calories back. Can't you just forget the cortisol release and the stress and the 3 a.m. waking up just because my glycogen stores are full? I'm going to eat a decent hearty breakfast in 3 hours anyway. Can't you just chill out, body and mind? But no, it doesn't. It's we sense a scarcity of food. We're going to send you all it's brilliant. It's genius. We sense a scarcity of food. We're going to send you all of these psychological and physiological reminders. It's amazing that it does this, but you kind of just want to say, no, but this is the plan, and I'm not going to do it forever. Can't you just give me 3 months to get this last 5 pounds off, please? But no. All right, the third one, it sounds really trivial. To be honest, it is actually quite trivial compared to the other things on this list that are harder to deal with and aren't that changeable in many ways, but it's clothes shopping. Clothes shopping is a bloody nightmare. The reason why I included this, because I was thinking about obviously filming this video today. This morning, I was trying on, not trying on, they're mine, but putting on a pair of jeans that I haven't worn since the winter here, and I think my physique hasn't changed that much since the winter. I'm about half a kilo down since my December weigh-in, one of my December weigh-ins that I've got recorded somewhere. But clearly, the fit is weird, or I just remember, or maybe I was wearing a different belt today, I don't know, but anyway, they feel really loose. These jeans, they feel really loose, and I love those jeans. They're quite thick, dense, so yeah, they're more of a winter jean. So I hadn't worn them for a couple of months, but I love those jeans. So you might think if you don't know my story, I was up at near at 88 kilos, down at 70 now. So I lost the bulk of my weight years ago when I first started this channel and whatnot. So you might think, surely you don't have to do loads of clothes shopping now, Ryan, or buy different sizes now. I don't know, I literally will lose an inch on my waist like this. I will, sometimes accidentally, because of how effective the Ryan Adams Slim and Sustain protocol is. But seriously, so again, I feel like it's been happening recently. So yeah, this just drives me nuts that clothes I might even buy 6 months months ago now will feel too small. So yeah, this is a nightmare. What I always say to people on this is like, if you know you're only like halfway through your weight loss journey, don't buy new clothes. Even if you're feeling a tiny bit scruffy, like I want you to go out in the world well presented. So maybe, and maybe I should steer clear from fashion advice here. But like, what's the point if you're gonna lose loads more weight anyway? What's the point? It's still even happening to me, even though the bulk of my weight was lost ages ago. So yeah, and I'm also awkward, right? It's a lot of you will figure this if you're doing a bit of weight training or if you've got more than average muscle mass as well. Like I have really a tiny waist. I've got like a 28, 29 waist. Sometimes I'll wear a 30 or a 32 because otherwise they're like too skinny. I don't like a really skinny jean look. So like sometimes I tactically will buy a little bit larger on the circumference of the waist, but really, truly, I'm like a 28, 29 waist. But like there's some t-shirts that I'm a large in. So like pants, trousers, we're leaning more towards smalls in many cases, shorts, smalls, mediums maybe at most. Those kind of sizes, but I'm not a short person either. I just got a tiny waist, like I'm a really little being. It's like I've got the waist and the wrists of a normal, slender little breadstick person of a little being, but like because I've added a little tiny, I'm not a buff dude, but a little bit of muscle progressively over the years, it's just awkward. So the upper body, sometimes again, I'm like in larges. I've got extra large t-shirts that almost hug the sleeves. That's not normal, to be honest, like because obviously there's discrepancies between fashion brands and whatnot, but it's really awkward to like kind of predict what I'll be, especially a new piece of clothing is very, very awkward. What I found is I just stick to the same brands now because I can't be bothered with it. I can't be bothered, and we all do lots of internet shopping more so now. I prefer not to do that with clothes, but I cannot be bothered, like the risk of like shipping something in, it's not right, sending it back, going through that rigmarole back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So yeah, I know it's so trivial, but I've just banged on about it for probably the longest out of all of these. This is annoying, but yeah, clothes shopping. Now before, I talked in part one of this video, didn't I, about how I actually became quite judgmental over other people's food choices as I was getting results, my standards, my criteria for what healthy practices look like. I would start looking at other people, my loved ones this is, looking at how they're eating, looking at their weight, maybe they were gaining some weight in a given moment, and I suddenly realized I was being so crazily, unfairly judgmental, and I'd never say anything, 9 times out of 10, but in my head, the sort of stuff I'd be thinking, which is, this is horrible to admit, but like we all have these snap judgments. It doesn't mean I necessarily mean these things deep down, but I would like to think anyway. But I'd like look at people like, oh, isn't that a bit embarrassing that you're eating that? Like, aren't you worried about this? And again, I would never say it like that. I would never vocalize it like that. But I watched myself become more judgmental. I was projecting my own standards, my own food choices onto other people. And that was something I didn't like and don't like when I snap into that now. So I've got to watch that. But that's not the downside of this video, but that's the one I covered in the first part. But what about judgments from other people as well? Like I talked about the jealousy, so maybe I've already covered this, but a lot of comments I've got in recent years, again, not the first 5 or 10 pounds where people are cheerleaders, but now you get on the much leaner side, stuff like, I'm worried about you, don't lose too much weight, you sick, getting too skinny. I swear to God, I've had all these comments multiple times. What have I had recently? Oh, you've got no butt now. You don't have an ass now. You don't have a butt. I always get something like, oh, you're too obsessed with all this stuff. You're too obsessed. It's like, how would you know? You're not in my head anyway. And even if we accept that I am obsessed or my level of care and prioritization of this aspect, this health aspect of my life, let's call that obsessive then if we are to name it. Who's to say that's not appropriate? And who's to say you're not obsessed enough and that's costing, like, again, it's whatever, but you're too obsessed, like all of these weird judgments from people. How do I reconcile all of this stuff? The world is overweight, the world's fat, the world is really sick and really fat. Let's call a spade, and that cultural norm, that cultural standard has infected everyone to the extent that a slim person now looks nothing like what we'd have used the word slim to describe 30 years ago. That's how much the goalposts have moved. You'll have someone now that is very high on BMI. All their friends in polite society will say, she's perfectly slim, he's perfectly slim, he looks great, that's normal, you're regular. And it's like, mate, you're with the upper echelons of BMI, which is already quite a generous range anyway, I find. So, yeah. the whole world standards around obesity are frankly shocking. And it's so innate, it's not just tolerated. Obesity is not just tolerated, it's enabled in so many ways. So how do I reconcile it when someone says, oh, don't get too skinny, or you're looking too lean, you've gone too extreme with this? Like, I just don't trust anyone's judgment anyway, because they're all infected by this, I don't know, this really corrupted, I'm using really harsh language, but honestly, this is how I see it. They're infected with this terrible brainwashing to where being a little bit chubby is now slim, and it's like, I don't know, I don't like this. I don't like this. Like, I think most people I see have 20 to 30 pounds to lose. Most people I see. So when I see gov.uk, I don't live in the UK anymore, but when I see statistics data every year that says like 70% in the UK are overweight, 80% of men, 70% of women, 80% of men in the UK are overweight and obese, so overweight and above, so just starting at overweight. 70, I'm like, yeah, okay, like that's a shockingly large amount anyway, but all the people that you're not considering overweight based on BMI, I'm looking at those people. Bear in mind, yeah, I am casting a very harsh judgment. Maybe I'm being a little bit vain and superficial with it, but it is also at the same time my job, my profession for the 8 years now has been, best part of, has been to help people slim down. I look at most people I see in Europe and I think, you've got 20 pounds to lose. Even if you're like on the side of slender compared to the norm is that bad. That's how bad things have gotten. So when somebody is saying these kinds of things to me, I'm like, but you've just got that normie standard. You've just got that mainstream standard. Like, I don't care. I don't respect your opinion. Obviously, I don't say this. It's not productive, but I don't need to hear it anyway. I don't want to hear it anyway. I don't want to hear your hot take on my body. You never commented on my body before when I was eating pizza all the time, drinking a bottle of wine to myself on a Friday night, and was 18 kilos heavier than I am now. You didn't say a dicky bird then, did you? Oh, but now, suddenly it's a drama. Impeccable blood work, shape of my life, strength of my life. Most importantly, I love it. I love my body genuinely most of the time and love the way I look. That's not factored into your hot take that I'm too obsessed or I'm too sick. Downside number 5, I think we're on now, travel. Travel, it is harder, and I do wish that I could do what I did years ago, which is every time I traveled, I just saw it as a bit of a break to my weight loss strategy, and I'd kind of accept maybe coming back up on the scale, like 2 pounds, and then get back to it. Like, I can do that now, and I'm so much more masterful and in control of my weight. Masterful. It's a funny thing to say about yourself. It's an arrogant thing to say about yourself. But I mean masterful in the trade of weight loss, let's say, feeling in control of my weight, feeling like I have true agency over my food habits, to where, like, I know that I can gain 10 pounds and then get it off quite efficiently without too much resistance, because I've got that reference experience. It's given me great self-trust. That's a great advantage, right? That's a weapon. At the same time, like, I just don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to do it. I've worked so hard, I don't want to risk it. I genuinely, it's not just the superficial side, I genuinely love how I feel every day. And I know what a slug that I feel like when I eat a slug. Yeah, makes sense, doesn't it? A slug, poor slugs. Not a bad animal whatsoever. What did I do? What did slugs do to me? But no, just this slug. I feel awful basically about myself when I eat too much junk food. The junk food hangover thing is totally real. The cleaner you eat, the more bad reaction you have when you do eat something super ultra processed. Yeah, so true. When people talk about that online, so true. But maybe that's another downside, by the way. When you do go off plan, it kind of seems to hurt you more than when your diet was more atrocious and you were 18 kilos heavier. Make it make sense. But yeah, anyway, I digress. Like, I'm actually less inclined to travel now because I just love routine and I love control. And so maybe the haters were right on the last point. Maybe that is too obsessed. Maybe I have gone too far. No, I don't think so. Like, I like that I've got that standard for myself. I like that I care about this enough to not want to risk traveling, certainly to certain places, too much. I don't know how I did the 5 months in Asia looking back. I did it really successfully, but when I say I don't know how I did it, tactically and strategically, I like how I did that. I'm proud of that. But I accepted a certain level of deviation in my diet that I currently would be uncomfortable to accept. I was 6 or 7 pounds heavier during that trip than I am right now. I've got leaner, as I say, in recent years. So that's the cost. That's literally the difference. That's literally the gap there in results. And I kind of like, it's only 5 or 6 pounds. I could get it off, like I say, like that, no problem. But I just don't want to go back there. I like that lean, sharp look. Again, vain, superficial. I admitted it in the first video, I have become more vain. That is a downside of this process, I think. I have become a little bit more vain, a bit more image focused. I have felt that about myself. But yeah, it's also the health aspect. Like, I just like, when I say sharp, it's the feeling, it's being on every day, being dialed, being in control. I like that version of myself, having control over the food, not feeling chaotic and scatty with the food, to where even if I'm eating out and making good choices, like there still might be oil, it's still unknown, it's still unpredictable, even if I'm doing the right stuff to prevent major rebounding, like for me, that still wouldn't feel good enough compared to like what I've established in the last 12 months, just getting, slowly getting that little bit leaner. So travel is a downside. It's hard to do. I've shared loads of tips on this about how I manage it when I have to do it, but honestly, I've got to be really honest, I'm actually way less excited about travel these days because I just love my routine, love control, love the results it gets. Maybe I've gone too far because I used to be such a little Magellan adventurer. More like Dora the Explorer than Magellan. Right, that's it. Those are my downsides today. I've rambled on long enough. Let me know which of these resonate down below. What have I missed? What have I missed that you've experienced? Is there a part 3 coming on this video as I think about things in the coming days? When I made that first video, I immediately thought of a bunch more. Oh, why didn't I say this? Why didn't I say this? Okay, part 2 is coming. So I'm sure in 10 minutes time I'll go, oh, I should have spoken about that. I can't believe I forgot that. I'll just finish by saying, look, I reconcile all of this with like, these are the little taxes I pay, as I said in that first series. I'm happy to accept all of these downsides, and some of these downsides I literally just accept precisely as they are and adjust my expectations around them. Like, oh, I'm always going to experience this now. Like in part 1 where I talked about, yeah, I am always going to feel the cold a little bit more now. It's not inherently a red flag. I just have less insulation, less thermal padding. So that's fine. But then there is still a lot you can change. So like if the hunger gets too crazy, there are things that I can do. There are levers that I can pull. Today I've talked about a lot of the stuff you can't actually change, a lot of the weird social stuff that goes on. But I do just want to say this is awesome. I love this process. I have a healthy, what I think is a healthy obsession with health, fitness, pursuit of those things as a form of self-care, which I think they are. And so like all of this stuff, losing friendships along the way, jealousy, backhanded compliments, not traveling as much, so worth it. So worth it. All right, rambling. See ya.